Okay, I think we'll start. People are going to be coming in as they finish their lunch break. So it gives me great pleasure to introduce to everybody this afternoon, Dr. Vinita. She's a well known to myself and maybe to some of you who are here in the
Angie?
Yes.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we can hear you. So we're looking forward to a wonderful session this afternoon with Dr. Vinita as she shares with us about burnout, which is maybe some phrase that you have heard and maybe never understood what it means. Maybe you might even see as we're going through, oh, yes, I've been through that, or yes, I'm struggling with it right now. So I think it's going to be a very helpful session for each one of us. So I'm not going to take any more time. Dr. Vinita, I hand over to you. Please share with us about mental health and burnout, whole person care.
Sure. Yes, thank you so much. Thank you, Angie. And thank you for the team. So I'll just share my screen and can let me know if there's any problem with that. 1 minute. Yeah. Okay, so we'll just start with a small little, like I wanted all of you all to just tell me when what is one thing. I think all of you all are children into children's ministry, and you all are constantly around children, doing things for the children. So can you just put in the chat box, and if somebody can just let me know what they're putting. What is one thing that brings joy in your teaching role? I think some of you are teaching, some of you are serving, whatever it could be. So what is one thing that brings joy in your role as a Sunday school worker or a teacher, whichever role you play? So if you can quickly put it in the chat box, just to let me just check the chat too. Okay, seeing the kids laugh, the kids into and smile. Yeah, great. That's nice. What about the others? What do you think brings you the most joy? Yes, when they reply and you know that they've understood what you're teaching them. Excellent. Yes. Yes, very true. Right. Great. Yeah. So yeah, when they greet with love and touch. Yes. Very nice. Thank you. Yeah, so thank you so much. Yeah, it is true. It really brings joy when we see, the kids responding to what we are saying. Okay, but I know that there is a lot that each one of you all put in. A lot of hard work, a lot of energy that you all put in, just so that that 1 hour or 2 hours that you get with the kids is really fruitful for the kids, and to see that they've understood what you're trying to communicate to them. So today we're just going to first watch. I'll just play a video, and we'll discuss that video, and we'll then go ahead with the topic. Okay, so that's what I would like to do today, and we can just discuss the topic of burnout. Okay, 1 second. Okay, just let me know if there's anything wrong with the audio. Okay, great. So can each one of you all just put into the chat box what did you all just get from this little small animation? Either chat box or unmute, whatever is convenient. Yeah, life needs balance. Okay, great. Thank you. What else? Balance with job and work. Yes. Work drains us. Yes, it does. So should we run away from the job or should we run away from work? Right. Yeah. So this is, yeah, family brings joy. Yes. Yes, that's a very important aspect of our being, who we are. Okay. So like Angie shared in the beginning, this is about whole person care. Uh, when we talk about balance and when we talk about things, work-life balance, we cannot negate one from the other. We have to take it as a whole. We cannot say work is bad, so don't do work. We can't say family is bad and we just chuck one thing out or one thing or the other out. We need the whole. And so today we'll just look at how we can manage uh, the whole, your whole being, to have joy in whatever you're doing, irrespective of how difficult it may be in your workplace or even in the ministry that each one of y'all are involved in. Okay, so thank you so much for just putting it in the chat box, whatever y'all heard. So can y'all, each one of y'all just say like, because I've termed this burnout, what is your understanding of the word burnout? What do you think it means burnout? I think the word itself is quite, has got some explanation, but if I can understand what exactly y'all understand by the word burnout. Anyone? Okay, let me see what's in the chat box. Exhausted, drained out. Yes, drained out. Extreme exhaustion, exactly. Stressed. Yeah. Yes. And I think in our current scenario, all of us are in kind of a situation where there is exhaustion, there is overwork, there is stress, and So in simple terms, burnout is actually a chronic exhaustion resulting from prolonged stress. And we must realize that the stress or the burnout or what you feel, the exhaustion doesn't go even if the stressor is removed. Okay, so it is very extreme. It is not just the stress that you feel, okay, I need to get up early in the morning and I need to do some things, or I have an exam and that's the reason why I'm stressed out. And after the exam is over, my stress is done. No, this is you're constantly feeling exhausted, you're constantly feeling drained out, even though the stress or the examination is over, even though the source of stress is out. And I want to just say that burnout is not a medical condition, but it can be managed with lifestyle and habit changes. So this is what we're going to look at today. Uh, it is important to understand it is multidimensional syndrome. So it's not just one aspect of life. It's not just about your work. It's not just about your home situation. It's not just about travel. Okay, but it is the whole. Everything, every aspect of your life gets affected when you are in burnout. So it's somewhat similar to like when you say the weather. Okay, what is the weather like now? And how when you say what is the climate? Okay, so there's a difference. That is the difference between a stress and burnout. Stress is a short-term response, and burnout is chronic. It's just like the climate, how the climate, like the climatic changes that are happening in our globally, the climate conditions are changing in a similar way. Burnout is also something like that. It is chronic. It's something that's ongoing and happening all the time. Okay, so this is what it is. It's just a simple definition is it's just exhaustion resulting from prolonged stress, and it does not go away when the stressor is over. So I just explained this. So there are different ways in which people experience burnout. So one is the physical exhaustion. So they feel very drained out in their whole body. They're not able to have, even though they've slept well the whole night, they still feel that they can't cope or they cannot get on for the day's task. Then there is an emotional disconnect. They don't feel like connecting with people. You just feel overwhelmed, everything like it's like there is so much to do. So like just like you saw that girl in the video, she just finally collapsed. And also there's apathy. So they kind of disconnect with people in such a way that they don't have any feelings for another person. So if somebody's going through some pain or somebody's going through something, they just cannot connect with them. So that's the way people experience burnout. And there are different types of burnout. It can be either an overload, that means you're over pressurized. There's a lot of things you have to do, a lot of work, you have to deadlines to meet. Um, and also there is sometimes you're under challenge, so you're it's like boredom. You're not happy with the job, you're not happy with what you're doing, and you feel this is not challenging enough, and that can also lead to burnout. So burnout is not only when you have too much of work. It can be when you're not doing the right kind of work, when you're not motivated to do that work. Okay, and sometimes it is just neglect. That means your environment just doesn't care and love you. They just ignore you. That's also another place where you can feel burnout. Okay, so just like we will be seeing what are the different characteristics of burnout. What are the symptoms in that sense you can say of burnout in the next slide. Okay, so there are some characteristics. So you can feel it physically, you can feel it emotionally. Your emotions are kind of dull. You don't have any, you don't have a desire to go out and meet people. Like just feeling self-doubt, discouraged, no enjoyment. Okay, there are behavior changes where there is procrastination. You don't feel like doing things. Don't feel the motivation, like I self. Sometimes you can see also substance abuse, and you just don't feel like caring for yourself. Okay, self care is zero. Then there is also a spiritual disconnection. So this is what we see, that the purpose we don't feel like connecting with God, don't feel like attending church, meeting people in church, or just going for fellowship. So that's also another characteristics of burnout. And the last one is your memory gets affected. So you can have slow thinking. Sometimes you just blank out. You don't know what you're supposed to do next. There's difficulty in concentrating. So these are some of the things that we find in burnout. So this is something just to make you alert. Is there any of these symptoms kind of you can or you see some in somebody else, you can link it to burnout. Okay, it's like chronic exhaustion, chronic stress. Okay, so some strategies. Um, okay, so till now, is there any kind of doubts or questions that anyone wants to ask? I think I'll just pause for a few minutes before I go ahead. I don't want to be just rushing. Anyone wants to ask any questions regarding this? Yeah, you can also put it in the chat box if you feel. Yeah, okay. So I'll go ahead. So we'll just look at a few strategies. Okay, so we look at a few strategies on how to overcome burnout. Okay, so the first and foremost thing is remember that you have to care for yourself. Okay, we need to take care of ourselves. This is like Jesus said that love yourself and love God. And that's how you can give out. And so, unless it's like you say, you fill your cup first before you try to fill somebody else's cup or try to minister to someone else. So, we just remember that we have to care for ourselves. We need to be proactive and preventative. So, don't wait for the burnout to, I mean, the stress to go to such an extent that it needs medical attention, but be proactive, kind of self-reflect, understand that this could be burnout, or be aware of the fact that the symptoms that you're feeling could be a early sign of burnout. Another thing is also realizing that burnout can have widespread impact. Okay, the person can feel so exhausted that they just can't do anything, they can't care for themselves. And also there could be a lot of symptoms that your body is experiencing, which when you go to the doctor also, the doctor may do all the blood tests, do a lot of investigations, but still not you may still not get something that is concretely saying you, okay, this is what you're going through. So you need to be aware of that. So it can be widespread, your health can be affected as much as your mind. It starts with what is happening in your mind, and then it can affect the body also. We must recognize the signs and symptoms and what are the triggers. So what are the triggers that are causing you to have these kind of stressors? Another thing is review your strengths and motivation. So this is another thing that you can help to. You just keep seeing what is it that I love doing. What is it that really motivates me? Is it that I'm doing something which I'm not at all motivated or I hate doing? If I'm constantly trying to put my energies into something of that sort, it's going to demotivate me and I'm never going to be feeling successful in what I'm doing. Okay, so it's important for us to look at what is the strengths and what are your motivations. Okay, so review that, constantly examine yourself in that, and understand that. Okay, then the way to find out is also take small steps. Okay, take small steps and reach out for support. So if you feel that you're not able to handle it on your own, please reach out for support. There's one thing that we all know, that we can give it all up to God. Okay, and let's submit it to God and ask the Holy Spirit to help us. Okay, so that's a very important aspect of uh, kind of addressing burnout and overcoming the burnout. There's another important thing is healthy boundaries. Okay, sometimes if we are involved in one ministry, sometimes people say, oh, you're good at this, can you do this also? And then can you do that also? So there are requests from different people for you to do something because you are gifted in a certain area, but that could be detrimental to you because it would cause a lot of stress in your body, which you may not realize it. So it's important to establish some healthy boundaries. Okay, what can I do and what should I can't do? I means it's not that you can't do it, but you will not do it. So that you can get sufficient rest and sufficient time for yourself. Then you have to reflect on your progress, seek the professional help if that's needed, and we must remember that we can be redeemed, okay, there through hope, through meaning, and through purpose. Okay, so we can, it's not a dead end. Just the word says burnt out doesn't mean you're completely burnt out. Jesus can bring about, he rose Lazarus from the dead, from a dead situation, and we all can be brought out and we can be redeemed because we have hope in the person who gives us hope, the person who gives us purpose and meaning to our lives. Okay, so this is so important. Some small tips that you can do. Okay, so you already have, I've already said these are some things to overcome it, but you can address burnout in some small things. Okay, so we must constantly be able to cope with releasing our emotions. What are you feeling? Are you feeling sad? Are you feeling angry? Are you feeling upset? How do you cope with it? Are you getting upset and angry? Are you putting that anger and letting out your emotions on your family members? So, what are those healthy mechanisms that you can find? Do you have a good place or a friend whom you can confide with? So, these kind of things you should find out. What are the healthy ways that I can cope with my emotions? So, we cannot pull out all our anger and frustration on our family members or on friends. You're going to spoil relationships. So, it's important that we remember those things. Create some routines. So, we as human beings do extremely well and do extremely well when we declutter our days. Okay, so just not decluttering the environment but also decluttering our days. So that's by creating good routines. What do you do the first thing in the morning? Do you have a time where you're just spending quietly before God, reading the Bible? What are your routines? So create good routines, healthy routines. Manage your tasks, delegate, ask for help. So we must remember asking for help is not a sign of weakness. Okay, so please ask for help. Uh, Definitely physical activity. So we must incorporate physical activity because that's what releases the positive hormones which we call, which help you to get to the next task at hand. Okay, write out your health goals. Do we have health goals? Do we take small breaks throughout the day? Okay, I'm feeling just exhausted. I need a time for myself. Do you allow yourself those small breaks and lower the demands on yourself? Like, no, do you feel that because others are expecting something that I must also expect it? Okay, people say I'm good at so and so thing. I'm good at teaching, so I'll be there for the Sunday school lesson every single Sunday. Okay, so the lower the demands on yourself, there is healthy boundaries are important for us. Um, you know, um, so that's important. Avoid unnecessary commitments, and it's beautiful to practice some positive self-talk. Okay, and the Bible has so many psalms and proverbs which keeps talking so much positive. Of course, there are psalms which also are kind of letting out their emotions to God. So that's also fine, you can let out to God, but there are also so many things that just talk positive about yourself, like, I'm fearfully and wonderfully created, I'm the apple of God's eye. So it's a lot of those positive self talks will really help us to overcome the and address the burnout that you're feeling. Okay. Healthy boundaries, I already told you. Building good relationships which build you up, not relationships that break you. Have good connections with others. Okay. Prioritize your rest time. Okay. Are we having those 7 hours of good sleep? Okay, that's a very important aspect of our day. We must not neglect that. Okay, striving for healthy life rhythms and sleep routines, and some certain mindfulness practices. Okay, so there are some things which are very good, which helps us to reduce your stress. So if there are people who find it difficult to just relax or difficult because your mind is racing, there are some good techniques to just calm you down. They are mind body techniques which really help you. Muscle relaxation techniques, deep breathing exercises. So I thought we'll do a demo together, and we can do that in a while, and I'll show you how that is done. So that will be something that you can take home for you to do when you're feeling stressed, when you're feeling that you can't move on to the next day or the next task at hand. Look for small miracles in the mundane. So there are small little miracles that we always find, like just if you suddenly look around and you see a butterfly flying next to you, you're feeling low and you just see that and just look at it, enjoy that, and just see that God has sent that butterfly. So just to build your faith up and make you smile. Okay, so these kind of things, just look at the small little miracles that you see in everyday life and hold on to faith and pray, of course. That's one thing that we must not forget. That is one thing we must do. Then there is also self. What I also mentioned before. You must not forget that caring for others starts with caring for yourself. Okay, so practice self compassion. Okay, this is one thing you must not forget. You must love yourself and love your neighbors as you love God. So that's the commandment that Jesus has given us. So we must not neglect the first part of that, first loving God and then loving yourself, loving your neighbor as you love yourself. So you must love yourself, take time out for yourself and enjoy what God has already given you. Okay. And I want to say if these strategies that I'm just mentioning are not working, please don't neglect to seek professional help. Okay, so I wanted to ask you what are your experiences with seeking professional help? If you all can put it in the chat box, it'll be really great. I just wanted to know and get a feel of what it is. What is your experience? Have you felt any kind of hindrance from seeking professional help when you've couldn't cope with yourself? Do you feel it was difficult to contact, or you felt that people would make fun of you? What are some of the challenges that you feel, or maybe you've heard it in some other people? So if you can just put it in the chat box, it'll be really great to understand what each one of us are thinking about when it comes to seeking professional help. We can just put it in the chat box. Do you feel it's a sign of weakness to seek professional help? Okay, the doctor doesn't always understand, tells you to walk 6 kilometers and you'll be okay. Okay, that's a big thing. Yeah, we have doctors that way. Yeah. So important to find a good doctor who understands you. Tension nahi lena. Yes, okay. Yeah, we always have people who say that, oh, क्यों tension ले रहे हो दुनिया में ऐसा हो रहा है. So there are people who minimize what you're going through. So it's important to get the right professional help. If you feel this particular, yeah, for some it may not be easily available. There may be economical challenges. Yes, definitely. Yes, I agree with that. It is an economic, it is hard on the pocket to find professional help. Yeah. What else? Any other challenges that you feel? Do you feel people around you make fun of it? Doctor doesn't give time to talk. Yes, that's something that we doctors are are notorious for. We think that we know it all, unfortunately. Yes. Anybody else? Great. Yeah, keep putting it in the chat box. It will be great. Yeah. Seeking medical help could be perceived as a mental issue by the community. Yes, yes. People are ashamed to think that they are failing or not managing. Yes. Thank you, thank you. Sometimes misunderstandings occur. Yes, very true. Very true. So it's so important for us as a community to kind of destigmatize the aspect of seeking help. Okay, so I think we must be the community who kind of say we need Jesus' help, right? We can't go on with life without Jesus' help. And then why aren't we seeking the help of someone else whom God has placed in our lives? Okay, so it's important for us to seek help, but seek the right kind of help. there are a lot of free service, things that are available online, which may not always be right. So please seek the right kind of help. So seeking help is a sign of strength, not of weakness. Okay. Find a safe place to vent out your feelings where you don't feel judged. So that's important for us to find a place that is safe. Okay. So your family physician or a primary care physician who really understands you, that's important. Mental health providers. There are good professional mental health providers. And of course, your church leaders who are also trained to give pastoral counseling and care. You can seek the right people. So please seek the right kind of professional help. And there are some questionnaires to test yourself. If you feel, some of these symptoms, are they uh, am I really in burnout? So there are some signs of burnout. There's some self-test which can be done. Of course, it's not a clinical or a diagnostic test. It's just to suggest that you could be, and then you need to have the professional help for that. Okay. So I want to say that we like just want to just share that as a community for us, I'm based in Mumbai, so we have a community where we try to incorporate mental health into when we are giving physical care. Okay, so it's very important to understand that there is a big connection between the mind and the body. Okay, so when your mind is disturbed, it automatically and some way or the other affects your body. And so often people come to the clinic or a doctor's clinic saying they have a headache, they have a body ache, or they have a back pain or some kind of skin disease, which then after testing and finding out and ruling out many things, we realize that the person's problems are not because of any infection or something which is clinical, but it's very much because they are in a state of stress. Okay, so it's important to recognize that, get it tested first. Don't neglect it, and don't say that everything is because of the mind. First, you rule out whether there is a physical cause to whatever symptoms you are facing. But once that is ruled out, and you still the person is facing those physical symptoms, it's very important to go and assess yourself whether you are in burnout, whether you are stressed out, whether you are in any form of mental health issues. The beginning of it, the beginning of it can turn out to be coming out as a symptom which is physical. So it's important for us to um, get that. Okay, so get that recognized and diagnosed well. So burnout often goes unnoticed and unattended. So I request that all of you can please take action. If you feel that any of this is a problem, so we have a team who does that. So if there's anything that you all would like to kind of ask questions, you can feel free to reach out and ask us. I'm available for that. Yeah, so someone says that it's also hard for a person to understand that they need professional guidance. There is no acceptance. Yeah, people don't kind of want to accept it, but it is a fact that it needs to be so, has to be suggested to them, and ask them to seek the right kind of help. And we've seen so many people do much better physically once they've dealt with the emotional issue or the psychological issue that is underlying. It's like it's within them, it's in their hearts and in their minds, and this is something that we need to uh, kind of address. I'll stop sharing this, and uh, also there are some comments on the chat box. I'll just read it. Just like how you go to a doctor when you have a physical illness, similarly, you can go to a mental health professional when you have a mental health condition. And obviously, in both cases, you go to God, not one or the other. Very good. Very good. Yes, yes, it does give you sleep problems. Yeah, it does cause sleep problems if you are in burnout. It may be that you get to bed, you sleep a few hours, but you get up after a few hours and you're not able to get back to sleep. So it's important for us to kind of, if there is a sleep issue. You haven't had those issues from the beginning, and suddenly your sleep cycle has changed. So you must address it and kind of find out what is the reason for this sleep disturbance. Okay. So if there are any questions, I'll be happy to take it. What if your boss is still putting pressure on you, doesn't understand that you're struggling? Yeah. So uh, this is not easy to address, but I think if it is damaging your health, definitely the doctor can give you a medical certificate to say that your health is affected because of the stress and you need the rest. So taking a break definitely help the person if they are going through those challenges. So yeah, and like Anuradha said, no, Atasha said, you said like you have to go to a doctor when you are having a fever or dengue or something, whatever it is. In a similar manner, if you are having, just because you cannot see the signs of the physical signs, you can't auscultate your chest or palpate your abdomen and see, okay, you have this condition, or you can't test it through a blood examination, doesn't mean you don't have a mental health illness. So mental health illness is kind of diagnosed through assessments and through signs and symptoms. So it's important to get the professional help, diagnose it, and get it treated well. And it is always a multidisciplinary. You know, it's not just taking medications or just doing counseling. Sometimes it can be therapy, counseling, therapy, as well as taking the medications needed. So there has to be a balance between. It's not either or. It has to be a combination of many things. And of course, prayer is one thing that we must not forget. We have to go to God with whatever problems that you're struggling with. How long does it take to recover? That's a good question. I think it depends from person to person. Depends on how well they would, take the action that is needed. So, when when you go to the therapist and they give you certain things to do, it's important for that person to do those things. If they don't do it, then there's no point in kind of it may prolong the process. It'll take time for the process to for the healing to happen. Okay, are there any organizations that can help? Yes, yes. So like for example, we have a team over here in Mumbai. We are based in Mumbai. So we have a team and we can help online also. So there are many organizations that can help with this. A lot of organizations are working in the field of mental health. When would you suggest to see a psychologist? So like I said, if any of your symptoms, which I mentioned before, are not, you're not able to overcome, or your symptoms are not getting relieved, in spite of the strategies that I mentioned, you're doing those strategies, um, and it's still not, you're not able to overcome those symptoms, then you should seek a psychologist help. And can it be done without medication? Definitely, it can be done without medication, but certain people who are in chronic stress, it will take a longer time if it is done without medicines. If you feel the person is been in this chronic stress for a very long time, it's affecting their physical health very badly, then it's good to take medication so they can start off with the process of healing, and then simultaneously take the help of a psychologist or a psychotherapist to help them in the strategies that can be used, the coping mechanisms that I mentioned about. If you've had burnout, will it keep coming back? Yes, definitely it can come back. If you're not using the strategies to keep yourself those boundaries, those healthy boundaries, taking regular breaks. So you need to be all the more alert to prevent. So like I said initially, be proactive and be preventative rather than trying to get a prescription and take a pill. So it's always better to take those steps. Yeah. Uh, do we have time, Angie? Or is it just, I think
Yes,
it's
we
3
do. We
minutes
do
now?
have time if there's more questions or something else you'd like to cover.
Yeah, so I was just thinking, there is a simple breathing technique which I could just show you, and also I have some videos also of it if you don't wish to do it right now. So it's just we could do it together as a group, and y'all can practice this. This is something just to relax. Y'all will help you to relax. So there are two. One is deep breathing exercises, deep breathing. So this is, it's a very simple thing which can be done at any time. You don't need any special place except for a quiet room, probably, where you're free from distraction. And you can do it even before sleeping. So it's like counting, just taking a deep breath. So I'll just show it to you all, and all of you all can try it. Okay, so it's like taking a deep breath to the count of 5. And then releasing it through your mouth. Okay, so this is a simple exercise which can be done every night before sleeping. So if you can all just close your eyes and take that deep breath, and I'll give you the count of 5, and then breathe out to the count of 5, and do this a couple of times. This is really good to help you just relax your body, relax every part of your body, because our bodies are constantly, minds are constantly in a fight and flight mode. Okay, I have to get to the next assignment. Okay, right now also you'll just take a deep breath, take it, hold it for 5 seconds, and then release it over 5 seconds. Okay, so we can just do that. So you can take a deep breath. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Release with your mouth. 5. Okay, so just a slow I'm so sorry. Zoom didn't want me to do as relaxing. Okay. So what I can do is I can share the link for the progressive muscle relaxation. Is that better?
Yes, please. If you could maybe send that to me, then I can put it on the group for people.
Yes, yes, yes.
That would be very helpful.
Yeah, so that's another technique which can help. It's basically relaxing different parts of your body, contracting it, holding it for 5 seconds, and then relaxing it for 5 seconds, then going to the next body part. So suppose it's your forehead, contract it, keep it held for 5 seconds. Yeah, you can do your nose, you can do your, so every part of your, different muscle parts. Your neck, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, slow count, and then relax it for 1 with your eyes closed. So it can be done on your bed before you sleep, contracting your hands or tightening your fist and then relaxing. Okay, so these are some of the simple techniques. Yeah. Is there a short training course where we can prepare people to help the community? Yeah, there are plenty of courses. Yeah. So I think Dr. Alita is going to be sharing something, right, tomorrow. Yeah, so they have a course. ACT has a course on mental health, which can help the community. Yes, sure. I can send you some links to help you with the tips, which you all can follow. Yeah, I'll send it to Angie, and yeah, Angie will be able to forward it.
Thank you so
Anything.
much, Dr. Vanita. I think that was a a very helpful session for people. You've given us lots to take away and think about, and maybe even we all need to take some time out and just sit and reflect. Am I going through these sorts of difficulties? Am I experiencing some of these symptoms, some of these problems? Sometimes we brush it off. We say, oh no, that I'm busy, that's why I feel tired all the time, without realizing it's a different sort of tiredness. So and I think also our hearts are to serve other people. So it's very good for us to understand, so we can help others understand what they're going through as well. So very helpful. Thank you very much.
Most welcome. Yeah.
Thank you.
You can share my number also in case anybody wants to contact me, no problem.
Okay, thank you
Yeah.
very much. Yes, thank you.
Thank
We'll
you so
make
much
sure
for
it goes
having
in
me.
the manual. Thank you.
Great.
Thank you.
Sure.
Great session.
Great.
Wonderful.
Thank you. Yeah. So I put the YouTube video on the chat box.
Oh, yes. Great. Thank you. People can quickly copy paste that into their, I'll copy paste into the group.
Yeah. Okay.
Excellent.
Thank you for the interaction from all of you all. Bye.
Thank you. It was a very interactive session, and it was easy to interact, which is very good. Yeah. Yeah, thank you.
Bye. Bye.
Bye. Bye. Thank you very much. Okay, so bless you, sis.
Sister Blessy.
Okay, Stuti Didi. Let's our next session starts at 3:30.
हमारा जो अगला सत्र है वो 3:30 बजे शुरू होने वाला है.
We have Ashima Samuel coming to share with us.
और आशुमा सैमुअल हमारे बीच में बांटने को आने वाले हैं.
But before that, we have a little bit of a break.
और उसके पहले हम एक छोटा सा ब्रेक लेंगे.
So would anybody like to unmute and just share your experience from the summit so far? Maybe something you learnt in one of the sessions this morning.
और तब तक के लिए क्या आप में से कोई लोग ऐसे हैं जो अपने आप को अनम्यूट करके बांटना चाहेंगे कि आपने क्या सीखा अब तक, आपको क्या अनुभव आया और क्या ऐसी चीज थी जो आपने उस मुद्दे को उठाया जो आपको छुई.
Anu, are people able to unmute themselves?
Yeah.
Great. Anybody's feeling brave to share something that God spoke to you today, something you were encouraged with?
किसी को महसूस हो रहा है कि वो बांटे या आप किसी चीज से प्रोत्साहित हुए आज, आप बांटना चाहेंगे?
Okay, I know we've had comments coming in through the WhatsApp groups this morning and privately coming in through the groups.
मुझे कुछ मैसेजेस व्हाट्सएप के द्वारा आ रहे हैं और प्राइवेट मैसेजेस भी आ रहे हैं.
People are impressed with Rahul sir's message here. Carolyn's is saying the best way to learn is to teach.
और कुछ लोग प्रोत्साहित हुए हैं भाई राहुल के जो सत्र था उससे, जो जिसमें बोला गया था कि जो अच्छा तरीका है वो सीखने से पहले सिखाने का है.
Yes, so if you want to learn something, as you teach it, you also learn more.
अगर आपको कुछ सीखना है तो आप उसे सिखाना शुरू करें ताकि सिखाते वक्त आप भी उसे सीख जाए.
And that's certainly true for us as children's workers, isn't it? In the Sunday school, as we study the Bible to teach the children, then we also are learning more.
और ये सच बात है, खास करके हमारे सारे संडे स्कूल टीचर्स के लिए और इस सेवकाई में, जैसे हम पवित्र शास्त्र का पढ़ाई करते हैं, उसके बारे में सीखते हैं, वैसे ही हम उसी उसी वजह से हम और पर बच्चों को सिखा पाते हैं।
I just want to share with you the rest of the afternoon, the program for the rest of the afternoon.
मैं आपसे बांटना चाहूंगी बचे हुए दिन के बारे में।
Okay, I'm just set up screen share. Oh dear, sorry. Earlier in the day, we were talking to you about the manual that we have prepared.
और मैं इसके पहले आपके बारे में जो मैनुअल है उसके बारे में बता रही थी।
Okay, and the manual can be found on the website.
और इस मैनुअल को आप वेबसाइट में आपको मिल जाएगा ये।
When you open the website, you come to the language buttons. You can choose your language.
आप जब वेबसाइट पे जाओगे, आप उधर भाषा का आपके लिए चुनाव है, उसमें से आप जो भाषा चाहिए चुन सकते हो।
And we just go through some of the pages of the manual.
हम कुछ पन्नों को देखेंगे उस मैनुअल में से।
People are joining now, ready for the next session.
लोग जुड़ रहे हैं अगले भाग के लिए।
Okay, so we have coming up, we have Ashima Samuel, who's going to be talking about safeguarding.
जो आशिमा सैमुअल है, वो हमारे साथ सेफ गार्डिंग के बारे में बता रहे हैं, सुरक्षित रूप से जो एक नियम पालना है।
And simultaneously, we have in the YouTube premieres, we have another session on safety first. As Sunday school teachers, what steps can you take to protect children in your class?
और YouTube पे हमें ये भी एक चीज पे सिखाया जाने वाला है कि आप सुरक्षा कैसे रखते हो, कि सुरक्षा पहले आती है, तो इसके बारे में सिखाया जाएगा।
Then in our break, we have a foundation called My Choices Foundation, who are coming to share with us the work they are doing to protect women and girls in the rural areas.
ब्रेक के दौरान माई चॉइस फाउंडेशन से एक डॉक्टर आने वाले हैं, जो हमें बताने वाले हैं कि हम सॉरी रूरल एरियाज फॉर द किड्स,
Rurals, गाँव में, villages.
इन द विलेज में, गांव में वो बच्चों के लिए क्या करने वाले हैं, क्या करते हैं।
It's going to be very interesting. That's English, Hindi, so everybody can join and learn from them.
और ये बहुत ही इंटरेस्टिंग होने वाला है, और आप इंग्लिश हिंदी में होने वाला है, आप जुड़ सकते हैं उसमें।
Then 5:15, a very special session, fitness and faith.
और 5:15 को एक बहुत ही अद्भुत सेशन सत्र होने वाला है, जो है आपके तबीयत के ऊपर और विश्वास के ऊपर।
This is a young man who's done his bachelor's in health and fitness.
और एक नौजवान है जिसने अपनी पढ़ाई की है इसमें उपयुक्तता में।
And he's going to share with us simple ways that we can take care of our bodies. We can exercise, bring exercise into our daily life.
और वो हमें आसान तरीके बताने वाले हैं कि हम अपनी तबीयत का कैसे ख्याल रख सकते हैं, कसरत करके भी अपने ऊपर।
While his session is going on, we have Joyanne Phillip in the YouTube premieres talking about how exercises can build brain power in children.
जैसे वो होने वाला है सत्र वहां पे, उसी के साथ वहां पे YouTube पे एक दूसरा सत्र की जो हमारी कसरत है, वो हमारे मानसिक शक्ति को कैसे बढ़ाती है।
So she's going to Joyanne Phillip and then Rodney Devdas also going to give you lots of ideas of activities you can do with your children.
और रॉडनी देवदास भी हमें बताने वाले हैं कि आप बच्चों में क्या और कार्य कर सकते हैं।
And we have Easter crafts with Blessy Jacob.
और ईस्टर के लिए अलग अलग चीजें जो करनी है पेपर से, वो ब्लेसी जेकब हमें सिखाएंगे।
So it's lots of variety this afternoon.
और इस शाम बहुत अलग अलग चीजें होने वाली है।
And then we're going to take a break and come back at 8:30 to pray together with the Latin American people.
और हम उसके बाद एक ब्रेक लेने वाले हैं और फिर 8:30 बजे वापस आने वाले हैं, जो लैटिन अमेरिकन लोग हैं उनके साथ प्रार्थना करने के लिए।
And at 9:20, we have a special announcement.
और 9:30 बजे एक खास घोषणा होने वाली है।
Okay, now I just want to run through while we have 2 minutes left and show you the speakers' pages.
और मैं जल्दी से, हमारे पास 2 मिनट बाकी है, आप लोगों को आज जो हमारे साथ बांटने वाले हैं उन लोगों का जो पन्ना है वो दिखा दूं।
Where possible, the speakers have shared their contact information with us.
सॉरी।
The speakers have shared their contact details with us.
जो वक्ताएं हैं जिन्होंने आज बांटा है, उन्होंने अपना उनके साथ संपर्क करने के लिए हमें योजना भी की है।
There. So if you want to follow up on a session, you want to know more about a particular topic, go to the manual, find that speaker's page, and you can contact them.
और अगर आपको किसी सत्र के बारे में और जानकारी चाहिए, आपको कुछ और जानना है, तो आप उस मैनुअल पे जाइए, उनका नाम ढूंढिए और उनसे संपर्क कर सकते हैं वहां।
Okay, so we've got 15 minutes until we start the next session.
हमें पास 15 मिनट है, हम अगला सत्र शुरू करने से पहले।
Anu will put the 15-minute countdown for us.
अनु हमारे लिए उस 15 मिनट का जो समय है वो स्क्रीन पे दिखाएंगे।
And we can quickly run, get a glass of water, do some other little jobs that you might need to do, and be back here in a few minutes.
और हम जल्दी से जाए, भाग के जाए, अपने लिए पानी पिए या आपको जो करना है वो करके 15 मिनट में वापस आ जाए।
Okay, so we'll see you in 15 minutes.
हम आपको 15 मिनट में फिर से मिलेंगे।